So I recently started a poll in our private Facebook group called the VOD Squad, where I asked everybody in the group what they would like our next episode to be about. I gave them choices like marketing, studio design, gear, monetization, and each category basically got its own votes. It got a good amount of votes, but marketing won out this week. So let's get into marketing your podcast. Vodcasting is the inevitable evolution of podcasting, and I'm here to give you some tips and tricks to help you make that leap from behind the microphone to the front of the camera. This is From Podcast to Vodcast. All right, everybody. It's good to be back. It's been a little bit, but I am back to help you guys along the path of podcastdom. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the top 7 ways I think you should be marketing your podcast or vodcast. And I have a whole list. I drew up a PDF here, and you can get it yourself on the website at VodSquad.Live. So just in case you miss anything during this episode, you can always head on over to the website and download it yourself. This way you're not missing anything and you can stay on point. The first one that I have here is leverage your guest's audience. Okay, so if you have somebody on your show that has a significant audience, ask them to share it after their appearance. See, what we love to do is to make it easy for our guests to share and promote their podcast episode. So one idea is to send them a note on the day their podcast goes live and include a series of shareable media, images, links, pre-written tweets, and status updates. So it makes it easier for them to post and promote the episode that they were on without them even having to do anything. So the second one I got down here is promoting on social media a million different ways. Okay, share rich media, sound bites, video, images, teasers. Everything is evergreen. Anything you can think of. All right, share an update when the episode first goes live. Then just keep sharing. Pin your episode tweets and your Facebook posts to the top of your feeds. So anything new that you come out with goes straight to the top. Create quote images on Canva or Pablo. Share these as standalone social updates with a link to your iTunes. Create 15-second soundbite clips and upload them to SoundCloud. Then share it on Twitter. Tease the next episode 24 hours ahead of time. So if your episode drops on Monday, start promoting on Sunday. Reshare the podcast episode multiple times. Another thing that you could try is do a behind the scenes video for an Instagram story. I mean, those things are huge right now. Do a reel. Do Instagram reels. Number 3 on the list is transcribing your audio. Now, a lot of highly successful podcasts offer a full transcript of the entire show in a blog post. Okay, the transcript is great for SEO and is a place to collect leads. And you should try a service like Fiverr for the transcription. Link is down in the show notes for that one. Number 4 on the list is throw a 2-week ratings party. Now, one of the most significant factors in driving a podcast up the charts in iTunes and into the new and noteworthy section is the rate at which you collect downloads and positive reviews in the first couple weeks. You have 8 weeks when your podcast launches to get to the new and noteworthy. The first 2 weeks of these are especially crucial. Okay, here are a few party planning components that can help make the first couple weeks after the podcast launch feel like an event. Okay, so you run giveaways. You throw a real party on launch day, either in person, that could be kind of hard because of the times we're going through, or virtually via Facebook Live. Publish 2 weeks of podcast-themed blog content. Switch out the email signatures on your personal email and add on your team's support emails. Get your teammates and company execs to post and tweet about it. So if you're doing a corporate podcast, get everybody in your corporation to tweet about it. Email 10 friends per day. Now, I know 10 friends it's not so much in the grand scheme of things when you're looking for hundreds, maybe even thousands of downloads per episode. But 10 friends, start off with 10 friends. If you have more than 10 friends, then great. But start off emailing 10 friends per day. Number 5 is run a giveaway contest. The allure of free stuff and discounts can be a powerful motivator to get more listeners to your podcast. And here's the clincher. Ask for a review on iTunes as part of the entry requirements for your giveaway. This will hopefully earn you more reviews, which will boost your social proof on your podcast and get iTunes to take notice. If you have the budget to allow for it, these might make some great giveaways. T-shirts, product discounts, and stickers. And if you don't quite have the budget, mention in the show notes, a shout out at the end of the show, or a 5-minute guest spot on the podcast. So there are things that you can barter with when it comes to trying to get word out that your show is coming. The best way to go about this is to simply kick off the contest either on social media or by mentioning it on the show. Ask people to leave an iTunes review in order to enter. One of the tricky things with this is how do you get in touch with someone who leaves a review? There's no straightforward way to do it. But the good news is that most usernames now are a close enough approximation of someone else's social media handle that you are likely to be able to find them, DM them, and get in touch. The number 6 best way to market your podcast is to find partners to mention you. Mention brands in your podcast. They might just mention you back. This strategy has roots in content marketing where there's often a reciprocal effect when you mention a business in a blog post. You'll often find that business then mentions your post on their social channels. For podcasts, it can work in a similar way. If you mention any business or brand in your episode, this provides an opportunity to reach out to those brands afterward to give them the good news of being featured. Or if you see a connection with your podcast and another brand, a simple email might be enough to do the trick. The number 7 best way to market your podcast is, of course, to be a guest on other people's podcasts. Just like movie stars hit the talk show circuit to promote a new film or politicians travel the country before an election, you can head out on a podcast tour and make guest appearances on podcasts in your niche. Booking guests for regular weekly podcast episodes can be a bit of a challenge, though. Many podcasts are likely to appreciate the proactive outreach. Any who take you up on this offer will make for a great promotion opportunity for your new show. To find a listing of podcasts in your niche, you can visit the iTunes listing page and view podcasts according to dozens of categories. In the business category alone, there are nearly 240 shows. So I included a bonus tip here, how to get into new and noteworthy on iTunes. Okay, the new and noteworthy section of iTunes is one of the most highly visible spots within the iTunes podcast arena. You have 2 months, 8 weeks to get there before your podcast joins back with the rest of the schmoes of the podcast listings. Though they don't release the specifics on how podcasts are chosen for new and noteworthy, iTunes seems to weigh the following factors quite heavily: number of subscriptions, downloads, and reviews in the 8 weeks after launch. There's a lot of great advice out there from people who have successfully earned the new and noteworthy distinction. Much of it we've covered here in this post, but here's a quick recap. Number 1, build an email list or outreach list before your podcast launches. This can be blog readers, product users, social media followers, etc. Number 2, record 3 to 5 podcast episodes before you launch. Number 3, pick a launch date. It can take 2 to 4 days for iTunes to show your podcast after you submitted it. Number 4, create assets like images, clips, and shareable quotes. All that will be awesome for social media. Number 5, launch day. You launch your podcast. Get it out there to the world for everybody to listen. Number 6, message your list to ask them to listen and review. And number 7, keep publishing new episodes consistently. Now, I can't stress on the importance of being consistent with publishing your episodes. Everybody's going to fumble every now and then. I'm guilty of it myself, but you have to try to stay consistent. Consistency is the key to being successful. So I hope these top 7 ways to market your podcast helped you out a little bit. These are some basic stuff that I'm pretty sure every podcaster knows when they're starting up their podcast and they're reading the thousands of articles that they read to learn the craft. But I really do hope that it helped you guys out. If you're interested and don't want to keep re-listening to this episode, you can head on over to VodSquad.Live and download the PDF for this episode, which has basically all 8 if you count the bonus steps to marketing your podcast PDF. So that's available there at VodSquad.Live. Also, if you're watching the Vodcast right now on YouTube, first of all, please hit that subscribe button. And second, you're noticing that I am wearing a Vodcaster t-shirt and a Vod Squad hat. Okay, we got some new merch here in the store on VodSquad.Live. And so head on over there, grab your Vodcaster t-shirt, grab your hashtag VodSquad hat. I've got this one that I'm wearing here, and we got a Vodcaster trucker hat that's black and white. The merch is really cool. We got jackets up on the shop. We got t-shirts. We got hats. Also, I just released a custom Stream Deck icon starter pack, which has over 280 custom icons for you to get started streaming, recording, live streaming, vodcasting, podcasting. Just if you're a caster, you need this starter pack. So head on over to VodSquad.Live and get your gear now. All right, guys. Well, I will see you next week. Thank you for joining me. Vodcasting is the inevitable evolution of podcasting, and I'm here to give you some tips and tricks to help you make that leap from behind the microphone to the front of the camera. This is From Podcast to Vodcast.